So, Jiu-Jitsu, the art of folding clothes with somebody still wearing them. Maybe you've been doing it for a week, a year, a lifetime, or many lifetimes. But one thing you will find out quickly is that we all have our own paths of progression forward in this sport, and we will learn the big lessons in our own unique way, which is why in this video we will be taking a look at some of the biggest lessons that I have learned in my 7+ years on the mat. Let's roll the intro. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is I, Jedi, your friendly neighborhood purple belt. Now, I have been doing jiu-jitsu since a little after I turned 18, and I thought today, why not take a look back at some of the biggest lessons that I've learned from doing jiu-jitsu that have both helped me on the mats, winning tournaments, and leveling up, and off the mats in my life, growing as a person. I'm also curious to know which one of these lessons you relate to the most, and also if there's something you've learned that's helped you that I'm not covering in this video. Let me know what it is down in the comments below. And if you're feeling a little extra, go ahead, throw down your rank and how long you've been training as well. All right, enough horsing around. Let's roll the video. Number 1, you're a long way from the top. So let me set the scene for you. When I first started training, I was in pretty good shape. Man, I could do 100 push-ups in one go. Not to brag. You know, I was a fit boy. So like many other cocky 18-year-old dudes, I was thinking I'll just go in there, pull off some of that GSP pizzazz, show them what's up, you know, and watch a little bit of UFC. I don't know what's going on. Needless to say, that is not at all what happened. I actually still remember this. I was rolling with this skinny guy. I outweighed him by about 40 pounds. And in one 5-minute round, he submitted me 5 times with the same stinking triangle choke from the same side. And to say that was a harsh reality check would be a massive understatement. Nobody is gonna show up their first day and just automatically be good. Okay, there's gonna be that 1 out of 1,000 guy that's just gonna be naturally good at jiu-jitsu, and everybody's gonna hate him.
Because they're jealous.
But you know something? As I was driving home after that class, I thought to myself, if this skinny little guy can do this to me with only, what, 5 months of practice I think he had at the time, what can I do? What's my potential? Now, don't get it twisted. Obviously, I knew there was a crap ton of work that I had ahead of me, but I was hooked. I was sold. I knew I was gonna have to start from ground zero, that this was gonna be a long, arduous process, but I embraced every second of it, and I committed myself to getting better. Number 2, most people quit. Now, once you've started training consistently, you've committed yourself to that, one thing you're gonna discover is just how much you don't know and you have to learn. Before you started training, you didn't know just how much you didn't know. And there are a couple of different natural reactions that people tend to have. Option A, like me, you realize you have a lot of work to put in, you're a long way from the top, and that the learning curve for jiu-jitsu is a little steep. But you realize that if you commit yourself, pay your dues, the potential possibilities that you can achieve on the mats are virtually limitless. Option B, whenever the results that you want don't come as quickly as you would like them to, you decide jiu-jitsu just isn't for you and you peace out. And honestly, what you're gonna discover once you've been training for a little while is that most people pick option B. Now, before I go any further, I have to say, if jiu-jitsu isn't for you, that is perfectly fine. I honestly think everybody should give it a try. You know, you got other stuff going on. It's your life. You're free to do whatever the heck you want to do. That's okay. That being said, far too often, what I've noticed is that most of the people that quit jiu-jitsu, they actually want to get good at it. Get their blue belt, black belt, whatever. But they are just so frustrated when the results that they want don't come as quickly as they want them to come. And honestly, a lot of the people that I've trained with that have quit, and they're always talking about how they're gonna come back to jiu-jitsu, take it seriously, get their blue belt, purple belt, do some tournaments, but that's all it is. It's just talk. They don't actually commit themselves to going through the grind, showing up every week. And honestly, to put things into perspective, if you can carve out 3 to 5 days a week to train for 10 years, you're gonna get good at jiu-jitsu. You could even get your black belt. But instead, they'd rather stay at home and watch the latest season of Teen Wolf or, I don't know, Pyrocynical on YouTube. And what's sad about that is they don't realize that you actually can get good at jiu-jitsu. It's not an impossible goal to have. You can actually improve at jiu-jitsu, win tournaments, get your blue belt, get your purple belts. I'm proof, okay? All right, I think I've harped on this point enough. And this is actually gonna lead right into our next point. Numero 3. You can actually get really good at jiu-jitsu if you put in the work. Now, an illusion that basically every single human being falls victim to is the thought that the way things are right now, this second, have always been that way and will always continue to be that way. But obviously, this is not the case. I'm sure that 5, 10 years ago, you were a much different person than you are now. And probably in the next 10, 20 years, you will be a different person then than you are today. And it's the exact same way with jiu-jitsu. 5 years ago, as a blue belt, my jiu-jitsu sucked.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
But yeah, my jiu-jitsu has changed a lot. I've improved a lot, and a lot of the moves that I go for have changed. You know, I've switched things up a little. I've been playing around, experimenting with different recipes. Now, don't get me wrong, it sucks whenever you're training and you have no consistent or predictable results. Never being able to pass guard, not being able to launch any sort of offense from guard, not being able to finish your takedowns. But I got a news flash for you. That is how everybody's jiu-jitsu journey starts. But one thing I've noticed is that the ones that get good at jiu-jitsu are not always the most athletic ones, although that definitely helps. But they're the ones that have a burning desire to get good at jiu-jitsu. They commit themselves to showing up consistently. It's because they're committed. They're putting in that consistent hard work. And obviously, if you have somebody that's both athletic and disciplined like that, they're gonna be a monster. A quote that I've heard is that a black belt is just a white belt that never quit. If you think about it, 2 years will fly by like nothing. It's 2021.
What the heck?
The year's almost half over, and you're gonna look back after 2 years pass, and you'll either be building something constructive, or you're just gonna be doing the same thing that you're doing right now. It's a beautiful thing when you can look back at the past 4, 6, 8, 10 years, however, and be proud of what you've been spending your time on, what you've been building towards. Numero 4. Nobody is above the process. Now, as a new white belt, the thought of beating somebody that has more experience than you seems pretty far-fetched at first. But if you're actually about it, then this is an experience that you will have at some point. This happened for me about 6 months into training. I had been training consistently 4 days a week. I had been doing at-home drills and workouts on top of that. I was pretty obsessed with jiu-jitsu, a lot more than I am now. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that because I have a YouTube channel about jiu-jitsu. And I remember we went to a friend's gym to get some cross training in. You know, I'm big on cross training. And my first round was with a blue belt. Remember, I was a white belt at the time. He had been training for 4 years. He was actually an undefeated amateur cage fighter at the time. Now, I started the round on the bottom. I had been working a lot of open guard. Timer starts, slap, bump, and within minutes, I had swept him and passed his guard into mount. And from there, I held him in mount for the rest of the round. This is something that blew my mind at the time. I was like, whoa, this guy's way better than me. I just beat him. That's awesome. And it's not even because I'm special in any way. I am special. That's what my mom tells me. No, but it's because of the technique. It's because of the jiu-jitsu. Every human being has 206 bones, about 600 muscles in their body. It's not about who this freaking person is. It's about those small, barely noticeable details. This is why I break down my live rounds. It's so you can see those tiny, seemingly insignificant details that make all the difference. As a white belt, this should be inspiring for you. You should absolutely, as a white belt, be able to have some successes with the upper belts. And as an upper belt, maybe this should be a little bit of a wake-up call. You're not invincible because your belt is a freaking color that's not white. There's somebody out there that you're not gonna take seriously and you're gonna pay for it. Nobody is above the process. Just keep that in here. Boys and girls, it is time for some Q&A. For this first question, we're gonna go to Instagram. So if you have a good question for me, head on over to Instagram, Jedi_himself. I'll link that down below. Shoot me that DM, and if I really like the question, I'll feature it in the next video. Sebastian McGregor asks, hey man, I just had my first tournament and it went well, so I wanted to say thanks. You're welcome. I've learned so much from watching your videos. I really appreciate all the effort you put into making them. I was wondering if you have any recommendations on how to be more competitive rolling with people who are bigger than you. Are there any specific moves or techniques that you have found to work better against them? Excellent question, Sebastian. Obviously, size and strength is always gonna make a difference. That being said, there are some rules of thumb to follow when rolling with bigger guys. One of them being you have to move more than the bigger person. The moment that you stop moving and let the position settle, you're automatically gonna be fighting an uphill battle against gravity. So keep moving. And rule number 2 is structure the out of your body. Your frames have to be so much more crisp. Try to isolate a single body part, one arm, one leg, whatever it is. Never go head to head. You always wanna be coming at some angle. All right, question 2 is gonna come from YouTube. This is from David Hunter. Do some commentary about BJJ in a real street fight. And question 3 is gonna come from Instagram again. This one is from Kevin Gerardi. Hope I'm saying that name right. Hey man, what's happening? I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel, but I've finished all the videos. Simply put, I'm looking for more jiu-jitsu content. I'd like to know what channels do you recommend along the same lines. Keep up the good work, from an Irish guy in lockdown in Berlin. Guten Tag, mein Herr. I don't watch a whole lot of jiu-jitsu content. However, Flow Grappling has a series, Daisy Fresh. It follows the life of these Midwest purple belts that do really well. Andrew Wiltsey, his brother. Yeah, basically they follow them around during training, throughout their life. It's a pretty interesting watch. All right, guys, that is all for our Q&A today. Yeah. All right, guys, that is all for the video today. What do you think of my new setup? Like I said, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts on these lessons are. Was there one that stuck out to you? Or is there something that you've learned from jiu-jitsu that I didn't go over? Since you're still watching, bro, I'd say you probably enjoyed the video. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. It'll give you 7 years good luck. Don't Google that. If you're new around here, my name's Jedi. I make the best gosh darn videos on all of YouTube. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I'll talk to all of you in the next video. Stay consistent. You can do whatever you set your mind to. Bye.